Colorado is still protecting access to abortions and won't prosecute people who seek them in our state. That is not the case everywhere else.
Well, 9 News legal expert Whitney Traylor's with us now, and there are a myriad of questions that now exist. Let's start with what happens in different states. People talk about a country divided state to state. We've already seen some of these trigger laws kick in some states.
Yeah, it's true, and it's got to be frightening for a lot of women. And in fact, I think 40 million women are in these states that these trigger laws have kicked in. So as of Friday and Monday, there are some states that have essentially banned abortion, and it's very expensive. It says only in the life of the mother will there be an exception, and that includes telehealth, getting pills, abortion pills sent through the mail. So it's quite a broad array. You know, there's some states like Colorado who have protected the right, but there's a lot of states that have prohibited it in different ways, from complete to partial.
You bring up the idea of the Plan B pill. I mean, just yesterday we reported CVS has finally said now you can buy more. They had a hold on the number you could buy, and shipping out of state. When you think about that, that is something that you could see litigation if you were the person to perhaps buy it here and ship it across state lines?
That's exactly right. And part of the issue is that before you can get some of the pills, that you have to have this telehealth session. And so any doctor in a lawful state, for example, Colorado, who's talking to a potential patient in Texas would not want to go forward with that because it's unlawful in Texas. And some of these states even have laws that say ways to extradite people back to the state, which is going to be a huge issue. I don't think they'll be able to do it. And
as well as prosecute people who help people go from state to state if they are seeking an abortion. So let's talk about this, because it goes back to federal versus state laws. And we've talked about Merrick Garland saying his intention is for the Department of Justice to protect the right of federally approved drugs to be available in every state. And then there's also the rights of people to travel from state to state. These are going to be very complex issues that'll be fought bitterly.
They're complex issues. You've outlined it very well, Tom. And I think really that issue is going to be, does the federal government, if it's been federally approved by the FDA, is their authority superseding some states' ban? And Merrick Garland and others are saying, yes, we're going to continue to ship it. But one of the issues is, how will they enforce this? And partly because the mail system is governed by the federal government. So trying to enforce it, I mean, it's almost, especially when they have bans from going across state lines. If a woman is 13 or 14 weeks pregnant, how are they going to know that? How are they going to enforce it? I mean, this is just, it's going to lead to more litigation, not less.
A lot more litigation, including
time.
The argument of states' rights versus the specific laws as well will be at issue.
Right, and that's a real issue, is that this is not a sort of theoretical, legal, abstract issue that you can wait and see how it plays out. There's women who are needing health care now. People. Correct.
Yeah, it is something that people are very concerned about on all sides of what is it's not just an either side issue. It's at least an octagon, if not just a complete polygon of problems that are going to have to be sorted out politically, judicially. There's a lot at stake here and a lot to solve. I wish we had more time, because it would take hours.
It's going to be in the courts
we will, for sure. There's going to be a lot more litigation, but doing something as simple as doing research, those kind of things, that is not going to be a violation of a law, I mean, there's privacy rights, so continue to research the health care that you need.
All right. Whitney Traylor, as always, our 9 News legal analyst. Thanks.